to just put a call out that if you don't follow the podcast already on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen, please do give it a follow, and it would be doubly advantageous if you could give us a review. Just put your thoughts out there. Just let people know. Just let whatever platform it is know. I hate to say it because it sounds so trite, and I hate when creators I follow are like, oh, smash that like button, blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying that, but it has a material impact on us that if you follow the podcast, if you review the podcast, if you share it, like all of these things, it helps. The more you engage with us, the more other people see it, and that's how the growth happens. We're still very early days into this, and we're having a good time. I mean, I'm certainly having a good time. You guys having a good time?
Sure,
Yeah,
really.
smash that like button like you are an unmanned train on the Smiler.
Yeah. See, and I'm currently typing out threats to them in the background to get them to say these things. So yes, if you are enjoying the podcast, please do engage with us however you can. It really does help. And we'll be able to keep up this great pace. We've got a good cadence going now with weekly releases where we'll cover everything. And if you want to get in touch with us, there's our Instagram page, and there's also thinktankards@gmail.com, where you can write in if you want a topic you want us to cover, or if there is a correction or a suggestion, or even just want to discuss one of the episodes. That if you've got a question for Ian or Nathan, for example, or myself, they'll get passed on, and you'll get a response from whoever that you're wanting to engage with. However, don't make me your middleman if you want a dirty talk with Ian. Yes, he's single, but, I'm a married man, so please don't involve me in your weird little games. So, I was doing obviously I did the charity bike ride with the coast to coast. I sent an email to, so I'm resigning from my job, right? I start a new job in June.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck it. I'll just send it to everyone. What's the worst that could happen? And it caused a lot of shit, which was really funny. So I sent it I sent an email to 20,000 people, just saying, can you donate to this charity that I'm doing a bike ride for? And I was really proud because I then got a load of reports about my own email, people thinking it was a scam and that it was fraud.
Yeah, that sounds like a suspicious phishing link if I'd ever heard one.
They thought it was a phishing email, and I was like, I'm really proud of these people. I can't even be mad. And except one guy, right? He just emailed me back saying, "This isn't applicable for me, thanks." And that just stopped me in my tracks because I was like, "What part of this isn't applicable? Just right. If you don't want to donate, fine. You're well within your rights. It's called a donation. That's why it's not like a tithe. Fine. It's not compulsory. Which part do you think is not applicable to you? Do you not agree with the concept of a charity? Do you not like bikes? What part of it is not applicable to you?" And that baffled me. And anyway, that cunt apparently had went on a complaint to someone, and I had to recall the message. But not before I got £300 in donations from people.
Get in. What charity was it for again?
It's a northeast one called If You Care Share. It was suicide prevention and bereavement counselling. They do some really good work. So my wife works in funeral care, and they obviously they have a lot of suicides and stuff. Fuck the algorithm. We're going to talk about it. I'll put in a description that this part is about suicides and stuff. So those who don't like it can think it. But what's been amazing was we've raised nearly £2,000. I've just come back yesterday. My taint is fucking bruised. Come back from cycling from the west coast of England to the east coast over 3 days. It was unbelievable. But my asshole and taint and thighs have took some abuse. But the charity is unbelievable. They phoned me to check in on me, but it was while I was on Hartside Pass, which is one of the highest crossing points in England. It's 1,900 feet of elevation. And I was really emotional. I was nearly crying with all the effort. 'Cause it was because it's a 5-mile climb. That's what makes it so bad. Is it's not just steep, but it's over 5 miles. And I was like, I'm in the Hartside Pass. And she was like, okay, so it's going all right then. So just drop us an email with some of the photos when you get back. I was like, okay, bye.
I suppose they have to check in on you. It is kind of their shtick, isn't it? If they just let you get on with it and we're like, if he dies, he dies.
Fucking Ivan Drago man in the phones. Not a good person to have on a suicide prevention charity. Just say shit
No.
like that. Probably not a
Especially
good
because
one.
he's fictional.
Oh yeah,
You
true. Dolph
imagine.
Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren is a fictional character. He's too good at too many things. But no,
He
it's
is.
it's a fantastic charity though. They do it's one of those ones where everyone you like, a lot of people who you talk to unexpectedly have like a connection with that charity, or they know someone who does. And like, for example, my bike broke while I was training for it, and I ended up in a cafe waiting for my wife to come and pick me up. And the owner of the cafe had lost a son to suicide and had done charity work for the same charity as me. So she ended up putting a poster up for me, and I got like some money off that as well, which was fantastic. My original goal was only 500 quid, so it's like quadrupled it, which is great.
I smashed it.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I'm already planning the next one, which is great, but I very much feel like, and I don't know if you guys are like this, do you feel like you should suffer if you're doing stuff for charity? I do. I feel like I should suffer
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
That's what makes
definitely.
it worth it, right?
Yeah, I don't donate to charity for people who do things that they already do.
Yeah,
So
same.
there was a guy at my work who, much like you, I mean, I'm probably being a little bit hypocritical because I haven't actually donated to your charity yet. But he said, I'm going on a charity bike ride. Will you sponsor me? But he's always on his bike. So I'm like, no, I will not. No, you're not doing anything out of the ordinary. If you were like mud wrestling or something like that, or in a gyrocopter, then maybe I would. But no, fuck you. It doesn't apply to me. It's not applicable.
Yeah, my firm have they take part in an annual like multi-day cycling event in Texas because it's an international law firm, and so there's all this geeing up of, come on, let's really support and help our couple of people from the UK go across to Texas so they can do their cycling event. I'm like, it's a holiday. You know, it's a cycling holiday ultimately, isn't it? Because I remember in a previous firm I worked for where we did partner with a local charity. I probably shouldn't say which one, but it was all a case if they came in showcasing, look, here's all the things you can do. We can take you up K2, or we can have you like windsurf like across France or something like that, or the like a coast of France or something like that. All you have to do is pay $2,000 before you do even the beginnings of the sponsorship, and then to the extent where you think this charity for a hospice, it's it's basically pay everything up front so that the charity can continue and then fundraise. And
Wow.
I just thought, bit of a scam, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they used. I don't know if it's still around, but there was a website where you could check how much of each pound donated actually ended up to a cause
Right.
for each charity. And there was somewhere it was like 19 pence out of every pound would actually go towards the cause, and the rest of it was like towards like staff and stuff like that, and which
Yeah.
really, really, really fucked me off. But yeah, I don't cycle regularly, and I suffered for it. Parts of it were absolutely beautiful, and there's things I'll remember till the day I died. But that's the point, is that like this isn't something I've normally done, and I don't like go out and cycle every day, and it's very obvious from looking at me that I don't do that. So I was like, yeah, this is. But and I do think you should, if you're going to get people to donate, you need to be the performing monkey for a bit, which it
Yeah,
worked.
it would be like me asking for charity money to go ride roller coasters all day, something that I love doing. Chris, I'm giving you a segue. Go, go, go.
Yeah, speaking of which, thanks for the stage directions there, as if I hadn't, as if I just wandered into the fucking studio today. Yes, hello, welcome back to another episode of Think Tankards. I'm Chris,
I'm Ian.
And I'm Nathan.
and today we've got a good one. We're going to talk about Alton Towers, a theme park in the UK. Now, I prepared heavily for this episode. It's Nathan's episode, but then 2 hours ago or so, I discovered I have prepared in completely the wrong areas, so that's fantastic. I know a lot about very gruesome things to do with amusement parks. Turns out we're not really going to talk too much about that today, which is fine, because that means it could be another episode if that's what the people want later on down the line. But it's a good one today, because the point of this podcast, for those who might be joining us now, the formers who have got sick of the Trains podcast and moved on to a roller coaster one, and they found this episode, as the point of this podcast is each of us as hosts, we bring something to the other two that generally they don't know too much about, and we teach them about it. It's edutainment in the best way. So far on this podcast, I've learned about Casablanca. I've learned about a band called the Shags. I've also learned that the Beatles are really bad at writing lyrics on paper. And, we've also learned about the Wars of the Roses, and, there's a couple of other topics in there as well. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to hand over to Nathan. Nathan, tell us about Alton Towers, man.
Alton Towers, wow. It's probably the biggest, well, it is the biggest theme park in the UK currently. I say currently because there is other things on the horizon that we'll get into later on. So we'll set the scene first off. Alton Towers is a grand historic estate near a village called Alton in Staffordshire, England. Very picturesque, very British. It's very, let's build something enormous and slightly unnecessary. What are your experiences with this place? Have you been before? I'm going to ask Chris first.
I'm gonna do two little segues here, because you came up in conversation the other day. You were my autistic expert. So one, I thought I'd been. I haven't. I've been to Flamingo Land multiple times, and simply went on different rides each time, and thought I'd been to Alton Towers. So that's my experience with Alton Towers, is Flamingo Land. Secondly, I had a look, and just for anyone wondering, Alton just means old town or old settlement, and by the time you hear this, you'll have heard our northeast or northern English accents and history. So Tun used to be Toon, so it's the same way we call Newcastle the Toon. It used to be Altoon, which is Old Town. I just wanted to sneak that in there because it's become a bit of an addiction at this point. However, I will be going to Alton Towers in October for the scare mazes and shit.
Ah.
So we're expecting our second baby at the end of June, and I've yet to tell my wife that we're going to go meet my friends who I play D&D or Dungeons and Dragons with, and we're going to spend a few days with them at Alton Towers because they want to go and do all the scare maze shit. So that will be my first experience, and I said, ooh, one of my pals, Nathan, is a bit of an expert at roller coasters, and then my D&D friend Elise, she said, all right, well, if he's such an expert, what does he think about the Smiler then? And luckily, Nathan, it was the day you wrote in our group chat your opinions on the harnesses that should be on the Smiler. Mm-hmm. And I read out basically that chunk of the conversation to prove your credentials as a roller coaster expert, and they were accepted by the council of D&D nerds, and they kind of said, oh, right, yeah, he really does seem to know what he's talking about. So, yeah,
the Council of Thusies have approved. That's what we call us, Thusies, roller coaster enthusiasts. They have approved.
I prefer the term formers, because you just form at the mouth when you talk about this shit. So, so that's my experience with Alton Towers. I thought I've been, but I will be going for real. Unless they're tricking me and I'm going to Flamingo Land again.
I hope not. It's shit. Ian, what's your experience with Alton Towers?
That was a very long way of Chris just to say no. Really.
He does that.
Yeah. Anyway, I've been to Alton Towers 3 times over the course of my life on the basis that it's in the Midlands. So it's on the border of Staffordshire and Derbyshire. So I went once when I was about 8, and at the time, it wasn't really geared towards young children. I mean, I know they've got a whole CBeebies land now and another area, quote unquote, for children. which sounds a bit problematic, but
I know what you're going to say.
We could get towards later. But back in the early 90s, it wasn't really designated for children, so it was a bit of a damp squib of a day with me howling in terrified crying, going round the ghost house. So not the happiest of memories. Then I went again when I was in sixth form, just with some mates. We had a day out to Alton Towers, and that was very enjoyable. And then I went again just after I'd finished university with my girlfriend at the time. And again, very pleasant day out. Haven't been back since. And that would be the summer of 2007.
Right, okay. So you went, first time you went was, as you say, the early 90s,
like
was
93, it? Like 93 or something like that.
93, so the year before Nemesis was there. So the only thing thrill ride that you had there, you had like the mouse was still there. The corkscrew was probably the main shebang that was there at the time, would you say?
Possibly.
Yeah, the black hole was there hanging around. There was that's quite an old time to be going there before they actually really started kicking into gear.
I mean, you say that, but again, because it's all part of the Merlin Entertainment's brand, it had quite a lot of marketing behind it. So Alton Towers adverts for it were always on TV, and it was like synonymous with Grieg's Hall of the Mountain King as its kind of theme tune, which I believe it's still kind of synonymous with to this day.
It is, yes. But can you do that on the kazoo? Yeah. Have you got your office kazoo with you?
Well, now that everyone's doing it, so I'm not sure I should see it goes along the lines of
that's the one.
My God, was that Alton Towers?
That was Alton Towers.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I remember those adverts.
Yeah.
They used to have like Halloween themed ones, didn't they?
They sure did.
Halloween.
Yeah. In which case, that should have tipped my parents off in hindsight. But yeah, I mean, it's like around the time though. Actually, we were quite spoilt for theme parks in the Midlands.
Yeah.
We also had a theme park which is still open around the Tamworth Nuneaton area, called Drayton Manor Park, and then there was also another one in Derbyshire, which is sadly now defunct, called the American Adventure. Well.
Yes.
So that was quite a popular place to go for. It's like me and my siblings had like birthday parties to places like that. Not so much Alton Towers because it was a bit further away, and as I say, a bit more mature for a kind of kiddies birthday party. But as I say, I've been a few times, and so I've got the map of the park in front of me as it currently looks. So I will be guided by Nathan as to what, if anything, is there from when I was last there. But including the problematic area. Which definitely wasn't there in 2007.
So just before we go on, so one of the comments I had from a listener after our last episode was that she said, "I'm so rarely in the mood to just listen to men talk about the podcast," and I honestly can't think why anybody would not want to listen to three blokes in their 30s and 40s talk about roller coasters for an hour and a half. It is utterly beyond me how anyone can even think of that. I mean, I'm erect just thinking about today's topic.
Yeah. So roller coasters don't get the bitches. They should, but they don't.
I'm a bit scared. I have one like roller coaster I like, but I've not been on one in perhaps 15 years. But I won't distract too much, and that's so when I go to Alton Towers in October, it might be the first time I go on a ride in like nearly 2 decades.
I've got the problem of being a single man who is 40 years old. So unless I'm getting together with my brother who has children, there's not really much reason for me to be in a theme park. So
you've got
I'm
me
now
now,
go-
Ian.
I'm now going
Disney
to rack
adults are
my
a thing.
brain. I'm now going to rack my brain to think the last time I was actually at one.
But I mean, Disney adults are a thing. Like I watch a lot
Yeah,
of
but they're
content about.
weird, aren't they?
They are, yes, they are. I watch a lot. For some reason, I watch a lot of YouTube content about Disney adults, and a lot of them go like tens of thousands of pounds or dollars, sorry, into debt to be at Disney, and there's not a fucking kid in sight, which is probably for the best that they're not breeding. But, you know,
Yeah.
Nathan, is there Alton Towers adults? Why don't you tell us about it?
Let's start, shall we? Let's start.
Sure,
Alton
sure.
Towers adults. I don't know if there's actual genuine people who just love Alton Towers as that much, apart from roller coaster enthusiasts. 'Cause it's a very roller coaster heavy place, for a UK theme park anyway. So we're going to start off with the history of Alton Towers in general. So this goes back a very, 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 very long way. Ian, as a qualified but not practicing historian, if I get anything wrong, hold thy tongue,
Sure
or
thing.
do not hold thy tongue. Just say you are wrong. Those dates don't make sense, and I'll say I don't care. That's what I've written down, and we'll move on. So
It would
we
be
are.
easier if I said fuck all, to be honest.
We're going to go all the way back to the Iron Age, right? This is how far away it goes, around 1st century BC, when someone built a fort on Burnbury Hill. A classic move: find a hill, build a fort, defend the fort aggressively. So we're going to fast forward to around 700 AD. Saxon king, I may say his name wrong, but we're going to butcher it here. Ceolred of Mercia builds a fortress around Alton. Enter stage left King Inny of Wessex in 716 AD, who basically said, nice fortress, would be a shame if somebody besieged it. They fight, it's brutal, nobody wins, everyone loses. So naturally, they named the place after that Slane Hollow. Marketing wasn't their best strength around the Alton Towers Resort back in those ages. They have got a little bit better with that. Going forward again, after the Norman conquest, they built Alton Castle nearby, because what's better than one fortress? 2 fortresses, I'd say. Then the land gets passed around like a historical joint. Knights, marriages, crusaders, everyone had a slice of the Alton estate at some point. And eventually, Sir John Talbot gets the estate through marriage and becomes the Earl of Shrewsbury in 1442. We've gone way ahead there. Not much happened apart from it just getting passed around every time someone fought in a crusade. And a lot of people fought in crusades, as we know.
Was there a prophecy? Like, one day this will make you a lot of, I don't know why it's Native Americans, but one day this will make you a lot of money, and that's why the land was fought over. Was it like the dad from the band The Shags? Was there a prophecy about Alton Towers?
Yes, he was there. He got a prophecy saying that one day this hill would make a lot of money and someone would lose their legs, but it doesn't matter because they'll still make money after that. And so he sold all his stuff and got his 4 daughters to create a theme park. No, that's not what happened. Right. Important note, though, the original castle did get destroyed during the English Civil War, because nothing survived the English Civil War, not even the good vibes. Fast forward into the 17th century, someone builds a hunting lodge called the Alverton Lodge, a cute, modest 3-story building, normal countryside, cottage vibes. Then in 1811, Charles Talbot, the 15th Earl of Shrewsbury, looks at it and says, this is nice, let's make it bigger. So he hires multiple architects and turns it into a massive Gothic-style house called Alton Abbey, or Old Town Abbey. Important detail, it's not an abbey, just more vibes. They added everything that they could: drawing rooms, dining rooms, chapel, library, long gallery, banqueting hall. Basically, if you could put a fancy chair in it, they would build a room dedicated for that. And then they went outside and absolutely lost control. So we're talking one of the largest formal gardens in Britain. They planted over 13,000 trees. There's a pagoda fountain, lakes, conservatories, a Swiss cottage with a Welsh harpist. All sorts there, man. All sorts. After the 15th Earl dies, the 16th Earl takes over and finishes everything. Then his other houses burned down in 1831, so he moved everything over to Alton, which naturally leads it to be even bigger. New wings, new chapels, more galleries. And they bring in the architect Augustus Pugin to add even more shit. So it's fucking massive. In 1852...
Augustus Pugin adds even more shit.
That's right. That's that historically correct?
Sorry, it's just you went expertly from a man with poo in his name to shit.
It was spelled P-U-G-I-N. P-U-G-U-N? P-U-G-I-N. So it's pugging, like sticking a pug in a blender.
Much better.
Okay? Yeah, thanks. Okay. In 1852, the 16th Earl dies, and the estate goes to the 17th Earl, who dies 4 years later at age 24, which is not ideal. Then comes a legal dispute over who actually owns the place. Meanwhile, everything inside the house gets auctioned off for 29 days, 4,000 items. Eventually, the 18th Earl gets it back and throws a massive celebration in 1860. 40,000 people attending. It's like the Coachella of Victorian England. And then after that, the 19th Earl opens the gardens to the public to raise money. Smart historical side hustle. By the 1890s, the 20th Earl introduces summer fetes, fireworks, balloons, clowns, and exhibitions of instruments of torture. A classic family day out already. In 1896, the Earl and the Countess, who are currently habit at the time, they separate. He moves out, she stays. He stops paying for upkeep, which is not great for maintaining a massive Gothic estate. The place starts to decay, the gardens get neglected, and in 1918, he sells off most of the estate. The Countess stays until 1921, and that's basically the end of the aristocratic era of Alton Towers. Because in 1924, the remaining estate was sold to a group of local businessmen who formed Alton Towers Limited. The grounds in the house were kept open to the public. Areas of the house were adapted with cafes and toilets, with most of the Earl's contents auctioned off. During the Second World War, Alton Towers was I've lost me words. Requisitioned, that's what I was going to say, by the War Office as an officer training unit, and the grounds were closed to the public until 1950s. It's a common misconception that military occupation of the estate was the cause of the house's dereliction at this time. In 1950, the estate returned to the control of Alton Towers Limited. Following this, new majority shareholder Dennis Bagshaw sold the house's lead roofing and undertook demolition of the interiors in 1951 to 1952, reducing it all to a stone ruin. By 1978, areas of the garden were again restored and concrete floors were inserted in the house ruins so the areas could be reopened and explored by the public. Property developer John Broome had married the daughter of Dennis Bagshaw in 1973 and subsequently bought a controlling stake in Alton Towers Limited. Under Broome's direction, the theme park had begun to develop within the grounds of the estate. But it wasn't until 1984 that many features of the estate were designated listed status, including the house ruins as Grade 2. In the 1960s, Alton Towers was frequented by many tourists as it now featured a delightful boating lake and a small fair behind the ruins and a miniature railway. So that was like basically the start of when it started becoming somewhere fun to go around about the 1960s. That was a very, very fast way of going through the entire history of this place because it goes a long, long way. Any questions from you chaps before we move on?
No, but
not really.
I do just want to say how that was a very strong no. I took Ian's feedback on board from earlier. No, carry on. No, I did just want to carry on. I did just want to comment that the planting of the trees is absolutely amazing. I read somewhere that it's about 910 acres or so. Alton Towers. Do you know if
Yeah.
it's like the original kind of? Is it the original estate that's been preserved, or has it been added to over time, or like did they keep buying up land, or what? Like, was it just a massive
It's
place
been
already?
moved. It's been added to and some taken away. So certain um of the certain fortresses were built in different areas than these Alton Towered ruins that we have. These original ruins that we have, I believe, was the second fortress. Actually, I think it was the nice little country house that was built that got basically expanded on. So the one that we see when you go to Alton Towers, that everything is built around, is the one that was a nice little country manor at first, and then just got expanded and expanded and expanded to be absolutely fucking huge.
Ah, and
Hmm.
just the 13,000. So is as someone who's never been, and people
Yeah.
listening who may not have had chance to go, is it still like heavily wooded? Like, is there still a lot? I know you said it's very roller coaster heavy, but do they still try and preserve some of that nature type stuff? Is there still a lot of trees there, or what? Like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah. The
the
trees,
aesthetics?
the trees are still all there. It is very, very woodland heavy. There is a whole garden section which takes up a massive portion of the park, and it separates one end of the park to the other. You can walk through the gardens to get from one end to the other. It usually takes about 25 to 30 minutes to go through if you want to be going through and having a look around, if you're having a nice little leisurely jaunt. If you're storming through to get to the next ride, you can do it in about 15 minutes and a lot of climbing. But the gardens are beautiful. They're very well preserved. The trees are amazing. The trees are very, very old. A fun fact about the trees, actually, is Alton Towers are not allowed to build above the tree line. Any roller coaster that they build cannot go above the highest tree that they have. This was through complaints of the Staffordshire residents. They didn't want to see any roller coasters ruining the whole countryside. So Alton Towers are very clever in that way. And a lot of the time, they use the terrain or they build underground for a lot of the things that they do. For being able to build these machines that they build, these high speed, high powered machines, and not be able to go over the size of a tree is it's quite commendable, I think. I think they should just place one giant redwood tree just right in the center, one of the massive ones,
Yeah,
and then they can build as high as they want. But it would take a while to grow that tree, I think.
it sure
There's
would.
there's a few of those laws in England, isn't there? Like, isn't the York Minster one of those laws as well, where no building can be bigger than the Minster?
That would be difficult,
Yeah.
though.
It's quite a big one.
The
It's
Minster's pretty tall.
it's just pretty interesting that there's a few cases of that. I wonder if there's any in like America as well. I don't know.
I mean,
I'll
I
look that up.
think in terms of scope, Chris, I mean, the entire park is surrounded by trees. And it is a very big site. Now, okay, it's been a while since I've been, but Nathan, I imagine you've been to Beamish before.
Yes.
How do you think they're roughly comparable, like the size of Beamish to Alton Towers? Or are we talking Alton Towers being a bit larger?
I would say the park in general is probably comparable to Beamish,
Yeah,
not taking into factor all the car parks, the hotel,
sure. Yeah.
the splash landings that they have there. The entrance when you get there, you are still driving quite a while to get to where you want to get to park your car. In general, a thing about Alton Towers compared to other theme parks is you will never be driving down the road and say, "Look, I can see Oblivion. Look, I can see Nemesis." It's never. Whereas normally, if you go to Thorpe Park, if anyone's been to Thorpe Park, you can
Yeah.
see the new one, Hyperia, from a mile off. You can see Stealth from very far away. You can see them all going, and it is exciting when you do that. But Alton Towers is like a hidden gem. You don't see anything really until you're in that car park. And even when you're in that car park, everything's hidden by trees. You can hear it going. You can hear the roar. You can hear the music. But then you get through the gates, past Tower Street, which is about 10 shops and some frogs that are spitting water at each other. and then you can see everything going on. It's like you've just stepped into another world. You can see the beautiful towers, massive ruins, and everything is built around that. There's really no place like it in the world. Even there are theme parks with bigger roller coasters, better roller coasters, more other rides. And they are not built around history like that. It's awe-inspiring when you go and take it all in.
I like that because, yeah, normally when you think of, whenever you see theme parks, it's always like massive, like eyesores essentially. And I think Beamish is a very, so for anyone who's not aware, Beamish is an open air museum in our neck of the woods in the northeast of England, which demonstrates 18th, 19th, and 20th century living through themed streets. Like they've got a 1960s street. They've got like a cinema that shows like old timey films. They've got an old timey bakery, stuff like that. And a quick little plug: I wrote a novel called The Horror at Beamish Hall, which has got fuck all to do with that, but it is like the layout of the Beamish Hall itself. I did a lot of research, so that's very accurate. But yeah, okay, Beamish is a good comparison actually. That makes me understand it a bit more. I like that it seems tucked away as well. I do apologise. I'll stop interrupting.
Hey, no, it's okay. It's okay. I've been talking a lot, so I'd like it if there was some interjection. We were talking about trees though, and there is an interesting tree around the area. Now, I'm going to go back into what it is that we were talking about 2 episodes ago with like folklore and spooky tales and things like that. Has anyone heard of the chained oak tree around Alton?
No.
No. So the chained oak tree is a real tree in Alton. You can go see it. It's about a 10-minute drive away from the Alton Towers resort itself, but it was part of the whole estate way back when. I believe it was, well, we'll go through the legend of it, and it will give you timelines from then. So, it's based around a curse, a story of a curse, which I know you will be getting quite giddy at, Chris. So, spooky. The Chained Oak's curse is a tale of revenge and superstition, deeply rooted in the folklore of Alton, Staffordshire, England. The legend is centered around the 15th Earl of Shrewsbury, who, upon encountering an old beggar woman, was shunned by her pleas for a coin. In a fit of rage, the Earl dismissed her, leading to a curse that stated for every branch on the old oak tree that falls, a member of the Earl's family will die. This curse was fulfilled when a storm caused a branch to fall, resulting in the death of a member of the Earl's family. In response, the Earl ordered his servants to chain the tree to prevent further branches from falling. The chains remain, symbolizing the curse and the eerie legacy of the chained oak tree. And that is there. You can see the chains holding it up. The tree has grown through the chains. As you know, trees do that. That is what trees do trees. But it's quite fascinating to go see. Yeah.
Whoa, there's a B&B there.
Yeah.
The chained oak. No, wait, right. I'm pulling up an image of this. It is actually. It looks like Ents who are into BDSM. Looks like tree.
Yes.
Tree. In one of the branches looks like a chain. Right, I'm going to post it in our WhatsApp group. One of the branches looks like someone has wrapped a chain around the shaft of a cock, because you can see the ball bulge. So
yeah, man, it's cool.
That is cool. Those are big fucking chains as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what? It's okay. So there was a curse, and it's chained up to prevent family members from dying unnecessarily.
Yeah. That's the story. Yeah. Good fact about that is actually, if you want to learn more about the story, in October when you go, you can go on a ride that's called Hex inside the towers. It's the only ride that is actually built inside the ruins of the towers, and it tells you all about the story of the chained oak, and then it takes you into what is called a trick room, where a lot of people sit either side, and there is a huge branch which is said to be a branch of one of the trees, and then it looks like the room is moving around, and there's lots of thunder and lightning and crazy stuff going on, and then you leave and get an ice cream.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'm sold.
Yeah.
I'm totally sold. That is so cool. So it's all right. So it's not. It's okay. So very quickly, it's not. We're realizing this isn't just a theme park that's kind of sprung up out of nowhere. This place has got history to it, and that history has been incorporated into the park.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
They are.
I like that.
Yeah, they are very, very good at their theming. They do a lot of dark theming. Other than CBeebies Land and the wonderful world of David Walliams, even though some people may see that as quite dark theming now. Yeah, that's pretty dark now. Yeah, it's I purposely didn't step foot in there. I went last weekend, and my daughter said, "Oh, should we go on the Gangster Granny ride?" I said, "No, because I don't want, like, I don't want to be a foot in that part. If people don't go, then they will change it. Something a bit more light-hearted, like the wonderful world of Philip Schofield, or something like that."
I'm a good father. You're not going into the world of David Walliams.
Yes. No,
keeping you well away from the world of David Walliams.
Yes, no children should enter.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
No, stay with your mum while I go on. No, I'll stay with your mum while I go on the Kevin Spacey Tower of Power.
I would ride that. I would ride that all day. All day. So, do you like the story of the chained oak tree, or do you want me to potentially defunk it?
What? Defunk it?
Defunk? Like what? Are you taking away the music from it? What do you mean debunk?
Yeah, defunk and debunk.
It would be.
Why, is it bullshit?
Is it? Oh, God,
well, it's pretty much bullshit, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, man. I went all in. I feel like a fool. I went all in on the chains. I was like, oh, it's got to be true. There's chains there.
It's said to be bullshit because it's just about the different places who are talking about it, really. Like BBC Stoke and Staffordshire date a legend from around 1821, which would identify the Earl as Charles Talbot the 15th, which is what we know the story as. The Alton Towers heritage state the chaining occurred around the 1840s, which would identify the Earl as John Talbot, the 16th Earl. The 16th Earl was remembered as Good Earl John for his charity, having supported local schools and churches and financed the construction of a new Catholic chapels around the Midlands, including the village of Alton, where he also built houses for the poor and the elderly. So his reputation does not fit that of the Earl in the legend who said, "No, you're not having a coin." So that is one way to think about it. It also states a member of the Earl's family, sometimes quoted as his son, suddenly died, whereas the 16th Earl's only son died in infancy, not around the date cited, and the 16th Earl had two daughters. The youngest, Lady Gwendolen Catherine Talbot, died in 1840, aged 22, which is close to the legend's alleged date, but her death was not mysterious. She died of scarlet fever in Rome. So, yeah, it just doesn't really match up to what history is telling us. And it was round about the time that they planted all those 13,000 trees, and that's great, brand new trees, but the old trees were ones that were greatly prized and they wanted to keep. So word is that maybe the chained oak was chained there because it was in a highly visible position, and they just wanted to keep it up because it was just off a carriageway, frequently used by the earls. So to preserve it, they wrapped it in chains to prevent it from collapsing. But, you know, I prefer the story of that it is a killer tree that kills people. I like that a bit better.
I mean, I'm not exactly like a tree expert, but I've not really heard of chaining trees up to preserve them. I don't know. Is that a common thing?
No idea.
My brother-in-law's a landscaper, and he's been a landscaper for years, and never once have I heard him say, "Oh, yeah, I'm just been chaining up a tree."
Was he a landscaper in the 1800s?
I couldn't answer that. Possibly. I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
You'll have to ask him that.
You immortal? by any chance?
It's a question you don't normally ask people.
Perfect cover, yeah. Modern day Highlander is just a fucking trowel. Oh man, right. No, I'm okay. No, I'm choosing the myth over the history here. Fuck that. I like the.
Yeah, I choose the myth.
I like the myth.
Yeah, it's not confirmed either way. It is not confirmed either way. I like the myth. I'm not very superstitious when it comes to things like that, but it just helps give the park the feeling of what it is, because they're all very dark themes, as I mentioned before, in the park. We'll go over what is there now. So, you're looking at a map, Ian.
Yep.
It's a nice map, isn't it? It's lovely.
It is.
Yep, it's a lovely map. You go through Tower Street, and then we're going to turn left through Tower Street. I'm not looking at a map. This is just going to be from my knowledge.
Sure.
So we're going to turn left from Tower Street, and that's where we get to Mutiny Bay, which is pirate-themed. A nice swashbuckling pirate-themed bay. There's some nice kiddie pirate rides there, but also it is the home of the Wicker Man, which is a wooden roller coaster, very dark-themed. It's about, obviously, loosely based off the story of the Wicker Man, just by the fact that we are being sacrificed into this giant wooden burning structure, and we're all going to die. So that's nice theming for a roller coaster. It's not easy to convince your daughter to go on that one, but we managed. Then we're going to move further on. We go to a place called Katanga Canyon, which is a fun little area that is, well, basically like river rapids. You've got the runaway mine train. It is more of a family-friendly area, that one. So it gives you a little bit of breathing room away from the Wicker Man and its fire. Then you go over to the Haunted Hollow, which is where the original haunted house was.
Yes.
And it has been redone many, many times. The new one that is there now is called The Curse of Alton Manor. It's about Emily Alton, who is a fictional little girl who is haunted and basically turns you into tiny little people to play with you in her doll's house. It's very creepy, very cool. There's lots of paid actors around there that will either act as lifeless zombies or just creepy people trying to spook you out. It's quite a cool place. Then we'll move further forward into the newest area, Forbidden Valley, because it's just recently been refurbished. It's always been called Forbidden Valley, but now, as of 2 or 3 years ago now, they've redone it all. It's like a blocked off government facility where they found an alien, which is Nemesis, the roller coaster. And there's like tanks, there's broken helicopters, there's paid actors around there that are all walking around with fake rifles and in armor and stuff like that are telling you to behave yourself. It's quite dark. It is very, very dark. You got Nemesis there, which is my favorite. Nemesis is the boy. It's
Nemesis
based off an alien.
roller coaster where your feet are off the floor, isn't it?
Yes. It was actually the first ever roller coaster like that. There was a lot of firsts at Alton Towers, but yeah, it's a suspended roller coaster. There were no other in the world when that was built in 1994 by a company called Bollinger and Mallard, or B&M Bargains. Yeah, but it's very good. That's a cool roller coaster because the speed it can get for just using the terrain. They had to dig very, very far underground in order to make it do what it is that it can do. And the roller coaster itself is an alien. That is the theming. When you go, Chris, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. There's like very cool eye in the middle that like follows you around when you're walking around. The tracks look like tentacles coming out of the ground. It's so dark. It's not
cool.
really for little kids. Yeah, it is very, very cool. You can even look at little pictures.
It sounds like Halloween might be the best time to go, actually, to have my first experience.
Dark Alien
they're very
Nemesis, The Wicker Man,
good.
Doll's version of the Ghost House. Yeah.
Yeah, plus
Yeah,
all the
and we're only
scares
just
and shit.
starting. Yeah. You've got Galactica behind that, which was called Air when it first opened in 2002. That is a flying coaster, a world's first, once again, built by
I
B&M.
remember Air. Yeah.
Yes. So it's called Galactica now. They rethemed it when they originally wanted to put virtual reality headsets on you. So it's like you were flying through space. I thought that was a bit overkill because you're already on a roller coaster. So why would you want a virtual reality headset to distract you from what it is that you're already doing? Very weird. COVID then came along and they got rid of them and they haven't returned.
Yeah.
I think it'll get rethemed soon. It doesn't quite fit the area at all. It looks quite nice and chilled out compared to the rest of the area where it all wants to kill you. So that is the that's the east side. No, never eat. I don't know my northeast, southwest.
It's
Never
probably
eat
the
shredded
west
wheat.
side, as I'm looking
Yes,
at
the
map.
west side of the park. That's right. Never eat shredded wheat. And then you can walk all the way through the gardens, and you can get to the Dark Forest from there. The Dark Forest is what has the roller coaster 13, which is a very interesting roller coaster. If you haven't heard or been on it, I do not ever want to spoil anything because the surprise is the theming of that roller coaster. Okay, no more from me for that one. Rita is there too, which was the world's first hydraulic launch. Oh, by the way, 13 is a world's first as well, but I'm not going to tell you what the world's first was because it's spoilers.
You tease me.
Yes, I am, yeah.
So, just for a moment, pretend I don't have an intense knowledge of roller coasters like you. What the fuck is a hydraulic launch?
So it's exactly what it says on the tin.
Well, I know, but like what's so special? I mean, what were you just pushed off before that? Was someone just running behind, pushing your car before that? Like, what makes this so cool?
So a lot of roller coasters will have their chain lifts. They'll have lifts that take you up, and then gravity does the work, taking you down. There are other launched roller coasters that will just push you from a point, and then you'll go all the way through there. You've got hydraulic launch. You've got the newer magnetic launches, which are very, very cool. I believe magnetic launches, the way that they work is you'll have like north magnets on your train, and then suddenly at the point, more north magnets will pop out from the track, and then that will force the train forwards as they both repel each other, which is a pretty cool way of figuring all that out. Hydraulics are basically used via hydraulics. So Rita launches at 61 mile an hour at 2.5 seconds. That's how fast you can go with that using the hydraulics. How do you explain hydraulics to an alien?
I mean, I think I get hydraulics is like it's a metal. It's like a metal piston, isn't it? It's just like it uses like pressure and metal. I'm really displaying my ignorance here because I'm starting to think I don't know how hydraulics work, but I thought it was
It's
like metal
through
pistons.
yeah, kind of. It's through applications and the generation, control, and transmission of power through pressurized liquids. So, yeah, there needs to be water in the hydraulics or liquids in the hydraulics. It says here that hydraulics is essential in powering machinery like diggers and cranes, utilizing the unique properties of liquids to transfer energy effectively.
Stepping away from the nerd shit, right? This is actually quite wholesome, don't you think? That in the same way that like China invented gunpowder first and was just using it for fireworks, that we've got like all these like hydraulics and magnets and like gravity tracks, and we're like, let's just see how fast people can go and have a good time. Like I think that's strangely. Not even strangely, it just very, very wholesome use of technology. It's like, let's take a day off from recreating the Crusher walls in Star Wars and use those hydraulic pistons to fire people down a track to get some adrenaline and make everything feel good.
The money we
sounds
spend
awesome.
on just entertainment purposes, that's what fascinates me. Like, we go through so many so many different things in order to just try and make people happy. I know it's to make money at the end of the day. I'm not stupid. It is to make money. But at the end of the day, it's entertainment, isn't it? It's giving people thrills that they're not able to get in their everyday life. And being able to use technology for that instead of, as you say, Star Wars Crusher walls or bombs or tanks. It's quite a wholesome side of human nature, I think.
It is pretty cool.
Sure
Now,
is.
is this a good point to ask a general roller coaster question?
Yeah.
Okay, right. How much of a roller coaster is branding and theming? Because I've seen a couple of videos where and roller formers, my slur for roller coaster enthusiasts, formers seem to just kind of say, "Oh yeah, this is the same roller coaster known as X in normally the United States." But like, how often is that? Like, are there like a handful of roller coasters that are used all over the world? Like they're like a certain model, and then it's just the theming and the marketing that is different, or is each individual roller coaster that is like the Nemesis, right? Is that the only one of that kind in the world? Like, how does that work? Because I also didn't know until I started looking at this stuff in preparation for this episode, is just how many fucking theme parks there are. I had no idea. Like, if you'd have asked me how many theme parks are there in Britain, I'd have probably just said Flamingo Land and Alton Towers, because it's the only two I can name. But then...
And you'd think that they were both the same thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then... I even just a cursory glance, like middle of bumfuck nowhere in America, there's like fucking 3, and 2 of them have got world records for like the fastest way to force shit out of someone's ass on a roller coaster. So like, it's obviously like massive. Like, so going back to my question is, how prolific are roller coasters, and how much of it is marketing and theming per ride?
In my opinion, I think theming is everything. I have been on some terrible roller coasters with terrible layouts, but the theming has been so cool that I'm so immersed in it. It would kind of be like playing a video game where all the graphics are great and the gameplay mechanics are amazing, but there's no storyline and there's just nothing to really get you gripped. Going into your question about whether some roller coasters are the same, there are. A lot of them are exactly the same, just with different theming. One in Flamingo Land, your favourite place, is called Sick. Has only really just been set up, maybe about 5 years ago or so. And that is a direct copy of Colossus, which is at Thorpe Park. Exactly the same layout, slightly different trains, as in you've got lap bars instead of over the shoulder, which I prefer. And the theming's different. Colossus has better theming, so I prefer Colossus, and it's the original, so I prefer Colossus. There is a roller coaster called the Vekoma Suspended Looping Coaster, the SLC, we call it. You've probably been on an SLC maybe in your life. There's one at Flamingo Land called Kamali. Do you know it?
I can't recall. So I feel like I'm in court.
No.
Sorry, I can't recall.
I don't think you've been to Flamingo Land at all. Did you go to Pleasurewood Hills? Where did you go?
I can't recall.
Well, there's one there.
I was expecting Pleasurewood Hills there.
I've been on Mousetrap, and I've been on the Corkscrew. That was at Flamingo Land. It's the only 2 I can think of.
Wonderful. I saw Mr. Blobby live at Pleasurewood Hills. That's a very fond memory of when I was very young. He felt
this is firing off the neurapses in my brain as well, Nathan. Because
yeah,
I went to Pleasurewood Hills quite like most summers when I was a child, because my grandma had a caravan just south of Cromer on the Norfolk coast. So
Yes.
like we'd always spend our summer holidays in Norfolk. So that would involve at least one trip to Pleasurewood Hills over the summer holiday. And yes, it did mean that it coincided with when Noel Edmonds was doing his house party franchise across Britain, not just at
Yes.
Pleasurewood Hills, but also somewhere in the southwest, and also in Morecambe.
Is that
I
where
know,
Crinkly Bottom was?
yes, I know this for a fact that because when I went to university in Lancaster in the mid noughties, there was literally an abandoned theme park. It's like Scooby Doo style,
Awesome.
and one of the desolate attractions was like a Mr. Blobby house, um,
Yes.
and such like, and it just like hung open there as a desolate reminder of Seaside's decline, in Lancashire in the early part of the 21st century.
That's a trip we can do. We'll all go to the Mr. Blobby house, the defunct, abandoned Mr. Blobby house, and take acid.
I mean, I don't think it's there anymore, but I
Will
will
be
say,
after the acid.
I will say, for one of our ill-fated trips, a trip to Morecambe. I mean, I can, I suppose, act as tour guide for that, but I wouldn't recommend doing it.
I want to
No,
go
let's
to these.
not.
I want to go to
Nah.
these pleasure woods you speak of. I thought that sounded like fun. For a moment, I had this horrifying thought that Ian had been like really badly molested as a child and had made up a whole story about the fun holidays he had at Pleasure Woods instead of like just a scoutmaster who'd take him into the trees. But,
Nah, because I was always there with my family, so that wouldn't quite work. But it did have Pleasurewood Hills did have its own kind of disturbing kind of park mascots that Alton Towers doesn't have, as far as I'm aware. Like Pleasurewood Hills had Woody Bear. So my brother, who's younger than me, just referred to it as Woody Bearland rather than Pleasurewood Hills. But
Yes,
Aw.
yes. The mascot was
So
a bear. Anyway, right, going into that still, the Vekoma suspended looping coaster, the SLC, it was a very cheap and effective roller coaster to build. Vekoma were like one of the massive, huge roller coaster designers of their day back in the late 80s, early 90s, and there are 42 different installations of the exact same roller coaster all around the world. It's terrible. I hate them. I will never ride one if ever I'm in the area of one. There's one in Blackpool called Infusion. There's Kamali at Flamingo Land. There is one called Odyssey, which is a little bit different. It's a bit taller. I can't remember where that one is. It's on a seaside. Is it Fantasy Island? That one's at down at oh, is this? It's not Skegness, is it? Is it Skegness? Fantasy Island? Either Skegness or Scunthorpe. You can always, there's always more than one
Oh.
country Scunthorpe. That's what my dad used to say.
take your
Yeah.
pick.
Take your pick. It's one of them. I don't go.
Nice.
Anyway,
is
yeah,
that
there's
40
loads
is
of
that
them.
42 of the same roller coaster.
Correct, with different theming everywhere.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Naturally, you answered one of my other questions. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
all
Sometimes
42
no
of them
theming whatsoever.
All right, but okay, so all 42 of them are shit. Maybe.
Yeah, they're painful. They are very, very painful. They're horrible. They were good for the day because they were suspended, like you had your legs dangling, which lots of people liked. It was the in thing at the time. But yeah, they're not good. If you ever see a suspended looping coaster, just stay away from it. Don't waste your time, I would say. The same company, Vekoma, would build things called boomerangs. You ever been on a boomerang?
Describe them.
No? Cool. Yeah. A boomerang, there was one at Pleasurewood Hills, actually. I think it is still at Pleasurewood Hills. It drags you backwards, first off, up a large spike. in which does it through chains, and then we'll just let you go once you get to the top. You'll go through the station again at speed. You will do a loop, and then you'll do what is like a half loop into a corkscrew, into a corkscrew, into a half loop, which is like a cobra roll, as we call it. And then you'll go back up a spike. Sometimes it's the other way around, where you'll do the cobra roll, then the loop. So then you'll go up another spike where you get to the top, and it will then just start going backwards, and you'll do the whole thing backwards again until you get back into the station. And there was loads of them all around because they were so cheap. They were such a small footprint. There was one in Cleethorpes, Pleasure Island. I grew up in Grimsby, so that was my home park. And that was the main roller coaster there. So there's loads of them. So to answer your question, Chris, yes, there are multiple of the same coasters all around, different theming. Not so much these days.
Oh, okay, all right. And naturally, that kind of leads on to another question. Again, sorry, it's so fucking fascinating. How much do roller coasters sell for, buy for? Like they seem like they're very complex mechanical things. Or actually, I'll make more generally. Right, I'll ask a more general question.
Yeah.
How profitable are theme parks?
Very, very, very profitable. They'll make most of the money through things like food and the merch and things like that. Ever since we stopped doing the sort of fun fair aspect where you pay for each ride and it's just pay for an entrance and then go in, it's all about trapping you there and making sure you buy the food and the merch. They make millions and millions and millions every single year. Costs of roller coasters and things like that. The one I just mentioned before, Sick at Flamingo Land, that was actually a second-hand roller coaster that they bought because it was supposed to go up somewhere else. They didn't want it eventually, or I believe the theme park that it was supposed to go in went bust. So this roller coaster, everything was made, it just had nowhere to go. And that still cost Flamingo Land £4 million to buy. And then they had to set it up and everything like that. So there's quite a lot of money to be made back.
Damn. All right. Yeah. Okay. So it's like the F1, right? You've already got to be rich to get into the game. Like I can't just find an abandoned amusement park and banish the eccentric pop star who's moved in and then kind of start making money. You've got to have money to get into it. Like it's got.
Had you been in Morecambe in 2002, though, the world could have been your oyster.
Fuck.
Although,
Indeed.
actually, that's in bad taste because of the whole Morecambe Bay cockle picker thing in the summer of 2004.
Yeah. Last year, Alton Towers made approximately £38 million.
Oh, okay.
Go.
So I imagine it'd be one of them ones where like it'd be a good earner, but you'd probably have a few, right?
Yeah, which is why Merlin have their fingers in many pies, not just in the UK. They've got Alton Towers, they've got Thorpe Park, they've got the Legolands and things like that. So there's lots of them going on.
Your beloved Warwick Castle.
I was just about to say,
yes.
Yeah, it's not Warwick Castle as well. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Damn.
All the dungeons.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's Merlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
There is a
hell.
dungeons at Alton Towers as well. You have to pay extra to do it. But yeah, there's a dungeons there. Sometimes with you going in October, they will make that part of a scare maze. And I don't think it'll be extra money for you to go in.
I do enjoy the dungeons. I've done like Edinburgh, York, Blackpool, Warwick. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right. So, okay, we've learned. Well, I've learned. Everyone listening to this is probably like, you fucking idiot. Merlin Group own a lot of things. Basically anything to do with history seems like Merlin Group are involved in some way.
Yeah.
Basically.
Trust.
Yeah. Like
National
history.
Trust with deep pockets.
Damn. Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. That's awesome.
So let's jump back into the map again because we've nearly gone around. We ended in Dark Forest, where Rita, Queen of Speed, the launch coaster was, and 13, which I wasn't telling you anything about. You start to move over as if we're heading towards the south again, and you kind of go past that weird land, which is the wonderful world of David Walliams. We don't. I don't want it to
With
be
its
there
wonderful
anymore.
yew trees growing all around.
It's just fucking. It's just the worst.
It looks like a surgical operation.
It's terrible, but thing is, it's home to something that Alton Towers doesn't have much of, which are what we call flat rides, where they're not roller coasters. They are rides that you can just hop on. They take a lot of the queue down for all other roller coasters. They're good for kids, good for families. They just need to retheme that. They really need to change it. I don't know what they're going to do. Change it to fucking anything else. Just get rid of him. It used to be a Roald Dahl one, and that was cool. It was like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was the dark ride, but then they changed it to Gangster Granny. Yeah, it sucks.
Alright, I want to get to this bit about 13 because it's bugging me now because I don't know what I don't know about it. So finish your ride. We will return. Finish your journey. We will return to 13.
We're then going to go past Hex, which we talked about before. The whole story of the chained oak tree that is inside the towers. So that's where you've got the huge tower ruins. You can go in. You can go and have a look in some places. Some places are cordoned off. You will be going there, Chris, because you're doing scare mazes. They set up a lot of the scare mazes inside the ruins of the towers, which is fucking awesome. Like, you're going at the best time. You really are. You head down past the lake again, and that's when we get to X Sector. And the X Sector is where the infamous Smiler lives. Now, the Smiler. It is a world's first. Again, they are good at world's first. It was a 14 inversion roller coaster. So world's first 14 inversion, and it still holds the world record for the most inversions in any roller coaster in the world. Now, that has not come without its problems, as we know. Shall we talk a little bit about the incident of June 2015? What do you guys know about the Smiler incident?
Ian, would you like to go first?
I am aware that invert at the time I was working as a personal injury lawyer. It was an event where there was some kind of accident. I don't remember exactly how it happened or the most of the details. All I know is that it did lead to a couple of the people on the ride ending up with amputated legs, I believe.
Yes. Chris, any further on that?
From what I understand about it, that it was a failure of a lot of processes, and the fuckers in charge tried to pin it on the actual workers. But I think an investigation showed that it was very, very big, like top level failures that prevented all this stuff happening, which really made me angry. That, like, not only I hate to say thank God nobody died, but thank God nobody died. However, people had life-changing injuries from what I funnily enough, all of the stuff I saw was like really shy about saying just exactly what the injuries are. So if like amputated legs, right, for example. But what really got to me about that was the management tried to fucking throw the engineers under the bus or under the roller coaster car. So yeah, why don't you tell us about it, and we'll go from there.
So partly human error and partly systems not being in place in order to stop these things from happening. So when a ride like that's what's called an infinity coaster. There are a few of them around the world. There's one in Thorpe Park called Seoul, and multiple trains go around the track all at the same time. It's in order to give it synergy. It's like an addition to the theming. The trains like have relationship with each other where you'll be going over one element and another one will be going over an element above you, so you see people, and it really adds to the whole experience. You can add trains as well. The ride will go down for about 5 minutes, but they'll add another train during busy periods to keep the flow going. Now, they added a train. They decided it was too busy, so they put a new train on. The train has to go through an empty test where it just gets sent around the track with nobody in it. This train went around the track with nobody in it, and it got stuck on what is called a pretzel loop. Now, just imagine a pretzel, and it's basically like that. It does a big half loop into a sort of bigger corkscrew, and then there's a space where you just carry on flat and then go into a corkscrew down to a half loop. Looks like a pretzel when you look at it head on. So this empty train, through apparently a gust of wind, didn't quite make it over the second corkscrew, so it stopped in the middle of this element. A little alarms went off because there's things called block stations, where if a train hasn't reached this block station, then another train should not be able to move from its next station. The Smiler has multiple of these block stations, one at the actual station itself where you first get on. There's a halfway point where there's one. There is now one at the top as well when you do the first climb. So the alarm's triggered. No one knew that, well, there was really bad communication to say whether a second train had been put on. The engineers did a manual override, which is what they were told to do by the higher-ups, because you've got to cut corners in these things, apparently, and sent the next train on, which had a lot of people. This next train went through some of the elements, finally got to the initial pretzel loop, and as it went round, it just slammed into this train that sat there stagnant. Now, it didn't just do that. The sort of metronome effect then brought that train back and slammed into them again, and then they went forward and slammed into the train again, and it was like a constant bashing of the two trains until momentum stopped them.
Jesus.
The injuries, yeah, it's bad. The injuries that were caused, the two riders sitting in the front row required leg amputations, and riders in the back suffered from varying degrees of injury, from whiplash to punctured lungs and shattered kneecaps. It took 3 hours from the initial crash to when the riders were freed.
Jesus fucking hell. That whole
It was
time
bad.
being in shock, being in pain, like people screaming. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's... Why was there such a delay in getting them out?
Oh man, I honestly I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't tell you what that was. Why there was such delay. There was potential. I really don't know. It's quite hard to get to the area, I would say. With it being where it is, it would be quite difficult.
I saw that the first 999 call, which the emergency number in the UK, didn't go out until 17 minutes after the crash. So like there was even 17 minutes in a crisis is a very long time, and then you've still got another fucking 2 hours and 45 minutes before people get out.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I guess the shock from everyone seeing what it was that happened. Since then, there's been cameras put all over the place. New block sections have been introduced. There's a lot of new health and safety regulations. All the Infinity coasters around, like worldwide, were closed. So pending in these investigations is to see what can we do to make sure this doesn't happen again. And I really don't think Alton Towers has recovered from that. Their reputation, it's quite a dark stain on it, and quite rightly, to be honest, because you go somewhere to enjoy yourself and have a great time, and you don't want to be losing your fucking legs. Like,
No.
it's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. That I wonder what it is about Alton Towers that makes it so... Because there's places where people... There's ones where people have like died and stuff. Wasn't there one at like Blackpool at the Pleasure Beach? On the Pepsi Max or something? Didn't someone die on that?
Probably. Fucking hell, I always feel like I'm going to die on that thing.
Yeah, but like, again, I mean, is it theme parks in general that are declining? But like, Yeah, I don't know why would Alton Towers stick out as one that is
I
still
think it's
in decline.
just because it's such a famous theme park.
Oh yeah.
And it's interesting. I mean, I suppose this is a question to ask Nathan. Why do you think this theme park, above all others around the UK, is as famous as it is?
It's famous worldwide.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just famous in the UK. Yeah, it's famous worldwide. It is because of the setting, I think. It's
Right.
because of the setting and because of how many world firsts that there were, which goes into the decline of it now. It's been quite a long time since we've had world firsts, and the world firsts that we've had, or that they've been trying to boast, have been pretty fucking shit. I mean, recently, the one that's been announced that me and my daughter went to the opening for, we didn't go on it, but we went to go have a look, was the world's first Bluey roller coaster.
Ooh.
Yes, that's not quite world's first hydraulic launch, world's first vertical drop, world's first inverted, nothing like that. It's the world's first Bluey roller coaster. And the one before that, being the Wicker Man, it's the world's first ride to incorporate wood and fire at the same time. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? Like,
Well, yeah,
Jesus.
that's, clutching at straw. You've just sparked a memory, though. I lied. The last time I went on a roller coaster was last year. I went to Peppa Pig World at Paulson's Park. Or Paulson's Park.
My brother's been there.
It was fucking awesome. I loved it. So
Alton's Park's good. They're doing really big things. They're having a lot of investment, and they're going to be a big player very soon, I think.
I'm going again. I'm going again this year actually, because we're going on a Christmas markets cruise in December. So we're going to go because we're down that end of the country. We're gonna take our kids. I'll have two by then. We're going to take our kids to Peppa Pig World again, which would be bloody lovely. So yeah, sorry, I am a hardcore former. Because I went on the, it's really intense actually, where you get into Daddy Pig's car, and you go around the track with, you see like Danny Dog and that shouting, like talking shit from the sidelines while you're driving around. So my heart rate was like 150 the whole way around. It was a hot day and I'm fat. But
that's the ride that Boris Johnson was banging on about when we were waiting to hear about like COVID restrictions changing. He started talking about him being on Daddy Pig's roller coaster at Peppa Pig World.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, funnily enough, I don't think I'm going to do too well at Alton Towers this year, because we did go on the there was one called, like, it was like a cloud themed one where we went up in the air, and I had like I had like my toddler on my lap, and she was laughing, and I was just white knuckled clutching on. I was only like 50 feet in the air or something, so like it probably would have been survivable even if I had fallen, but like I was just fucking terrified.
Well, if it's heights that you're worried about, Alton Towers, you don't need to worry.
Yeah, true. Just being fired along a horizontal trajectory.
Or losing your legs.
Yeah. There was a similar story with what's the name, Nathan? Is it a suspended one where your legs dangle down to give you like a feeling of weightlessness?
Yes.
Yeah. There was one in America where a bloke had jumped over a fence to get his wife's hat back as a roller coaster went past, and someone's leg collided with his head and decapitated him.
Oh yeah.
Broke the poor lassie's leg. To be fair, I've not got much sympathy for the daft cunt who jumps over a fence to go under a roller coaster while it's on. So, like, you know, but
that's natural selection, yes.
That's a bit of a Darwin award, that one. But yeah, the Blackpool Pleasure Beach one I was talking about, that was in 2000, and that was a young lad, 11-year-old called Christopher Sherritt, who fell from the Space Invader roller coaster, which was an indoor roller coaster. He fell off
it's not there anymore.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know, Blackpool Pleasure Beach doesn't seem to have suffered much more than, like, disproportionately, I mean.
I think that's because Blackpool doesn't have the best reputation to begin with. So,
true.
Yeah.
I suppose you kind of expect someone to die there at least once a year.
Yeah, I suppose. We went there for my stag do, and I expected at least one of us to die.
Oh, fair.
So yeah, the Smiler, it's a good roller coaster. It's amazing to watch. When you look at it, it's a fantastic piece of machinery. Most days, yeah. Don't watch it on that very, very one sad day in 2015. But I would still give it a ride. It hasn't, like, strangely enough, it's always the biggest queue. It is always still the biggest queue there because it is like the biggest ride there. It's the craziest.
Is weird,
so
given what it's next door to.
Next door to Oblivion.
Yeah.
Or you're talking about just chicken?
No, I was talking about Oblivion just because because I'm slightly older than you guys. When I was growing up, that was like the big new roller coaster when it was installed, just because of what it is, just because it is a sheer vertical drop.
Yes, it was a world first. Once again, world's first B&M dive coaster. It boasted a vertical drop, but it's actually 87.5 degrees, so it's not quite vertical. There are now vertical coasters that go that and beyond. There are loads more dive coasters around the world that do far, far more. So, just being spoilt for choice, really, by the way technology has moved on. Oblivion, that basically hangs you over the edge, drops you down, you go down a hole, pop out the other side, and that's that. It's a bit lackluster these days.
It's
disappointingly
short.
I still love it.
Yeah.
It is disappointingly short, but I do love it. It's quite a short queue. So for a quick thrill, it's great. They used to, when it hung you over the edge, it used to be a big voice that said, "Don't look down." But they got rid of that because the locals were complaining that they could hear that followed by screams all the time.
Fucking locals.
I know, they're a bunch of bastards, aren't they?
If you live next door to a theme park, what do you expect?
I know. And the theme park's probably been there longer than all of them now.
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going back to when, like, the little bobsleds were there, yes, it's been there for much longer. Things have just got a bit bigger. Moving out of X Sector, you will move around and there will be Spinball Whizzer, which is a piece of shit. Don't know why it's there. It's just like a spinning roller coaster, a bit like the ones you may see at South Shields Fair, just a bit bigger and more stable. It's all right. It's a bit boring. It's very old. It used to be themed to Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Spinball, it was called, which was far better. They should have kept that, but IPs cost money. And Sonic the Hedgehog isn't as popular these days as he once was.
Even with the recent movie reboots with Jim Carrey?
Well, yeah, I mean, they could definitely theme it again to Sonic now because he's having a bit of a resurgence. Yeah. Thank God, I'm a big Sonic fan. I am one of those people that draws sexy Sonic pictures with their big muscles and throbbing members. And Chris also does the same.
I do not. No, I don't have a Sonic OC, I believe the lingo calls it. So basically, the Venn diagram of Sonic the Hedgehog mega fans as adults and autistic people is just a circle. It is crazy. That's not even as much of a joke as I'd make it out to be. There is a crazy overlap between Sonic the Hedgehog fans, adults, and like autistic adults. I don't know why the attraction is there, but there is a lot of original characters in like they call it their OCs, where they make their own Sonic characters. Chris Chan probably being the best example, but that is far and away not a subject for this episode. But
I am a big Sonic fan, but I draw the line at furry OC. I think they really have a lot to be answered for when it comes to the furries and what they have become.
Speaking of furries, I shit you not. So obviously you're listening to this podcast now, and I've mentioned I've got another podcast I record as well, and I used to have a big divider that I got from a Specsavers that was shutting down, and it was really good for soundproofing my home office before I got some other soundproofing stuff. And yesterday, because again we're running out of space with the baby coming, we got rid of it. And the person who picked it up, my wife, just to be sure, I'd looked on their Facebook, make sure they weren't a fucking psychopath or anything. Honest to God, furry with all of their their OC and their furry art, and them in
Good for
fursuits
them.
on there. Yeah, but the thing is, I live in quite a small town, out in the countryside, like in a rural area. So I was just like, and they were mentioning like they were really big fans of like Lord of the Rings and stuff, and I was like, oh God, please don't say that you listen to my podcast.
Oh my
I
God.
couldn't take it knowing that they knew where I lived. That was weird. But yeah, first time in my life I thought, I think I've knowingly met a furry, and that was yesterday. So wow,
Oh, well.
the
For
miracle
a
of
privacy screen.
yes, a soundproof private. That's going in front of their bedroom door. I know for a fact that is
It
going in
is,
front
yes.
of their bedroom door.
You've
Zootopia
just
2
give
is going on.
someone.
Sorry.
I'll say you've just give someone equipment to be pegged with, basically.
Ah, finally, I have the last piece for my masturbatorium. Zootopia
Bless them.
2 on the projector.
Followed
Oh
by
dear,
Disney's
poor
Robin
Judy
Hood.
Hopps. Well, yeah, I would accept Disney Robin's Hood. Disney's Robin Hood. Maid Marian, she had some beautiful eyes.
Yeah, I've got a slight problem in that Robin Hood is hands down one of my favourite things ever, and I will be doing an episode on it for this podcast. But I've got 2 T-shirts related to the Disney animated film. I'm thinking that puts me in the company of a very, very select band of people who aren't furries.
Yeah, no, it's the animated one is one of my favorite animated films as well. I think it's fucking brilliant. So I'm quite looking forward to what you have to say on
Good
that.
stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, we're at Spinball Wizard. We're nearly all the way around the park. We just got CBeebies Land next, which is nice. It's the place where you take the kids. It's always really busy. Home of the world's first Bluey coaster. Oh my God. There's also the Octonauts coaster, which is also equally shit. And lots of fun little things. There's characters walking around. The kids love it. It's great. Just got a Justin's Fun House, Justin's house, where you go in there and you have little foam balls and cannons, and everyone just sort of fires them. It's great as an adult. You go in there and just shoot foam balls in kids' faces and make them cry. Which is always good fun when you've got pristine aim, rather than these kids who couldn't hit a fucking cow's horse with a banjo. It's wonderful. It's one of my favourite places to unwind after a lot of the darkness of Alton Towers. Just go there, ruin some kids'
you get to
days.
shoot children.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to go in there on your own as an adult. You need to have a child with you. So just pick one up. There'll be one lost in the wonderful world of David Walliams somewhere. that's where you pick them up. And then you're back at Tower Street. That is what he does. That's why he made that world. And then you're back at Tower Street. You've gone all the way around the park then. And there we are.
Wow.
That is...
We did a virtual tour. We did a virtual tour of Alton Towers itself.
And is that the route in which you went round the park when you were there the other week?
Now, that is the route that I do, because the route that normal, and this is a pro tip for anyone who doesn't attend theme parks very often, start at the back of the park. So you want to be leaving Tower Street and going all the way, it's a long walk, but go all the way over to Forbidden Valley, because everyone else starts at the front. Everyone else will go to the Wicker Man. They will go to the Smiler. They will hang around there, try and get on the big things first. You go all the way back. You go on Nemesis. You go on Galactica first. And then by the time that the crowds are moving that way, you move to the front. And then that way you can beat the queues. So that's what I do usually.
Oh, there you go. There's some fucking travel tips from Nathan, our pro park enjoyer.
Judith Chalmers.
Yeah. Right.
We don't know what's next for Alton Towers. Haven't got a clue. They usually have all their roller coasters by secret weapons, is what they called them. So Secret Weapon 1 and 2 was like an unbuilt pipeline coaster, which are these long, boring things, and they didn't get made. So Secret Weapon 3 was Nemesis, built in 1994. Secret Weapon 4 was Oblivion, built in 1998. Secret Weapon 5, Air, 2002. Secret Weapon 6, 13, 2010. Secret Weapon 7, Smiler, 2013. Secret Weapon 8, Wicker Man, 2018. We have heard rumours of a Secret Weapon 9 and where it's going to be built, but we don't really know much about it. They are very, very secretive when it comes to this stuff.
There's one thing I'd perhaps bring up just because it's on the map here. I don't remember it being mentioned in your walk round. So next to Air, which is now Galactica, we had a new for 2025 Toxicator.
Yes. Toxicator is a flat ride. It's what's called a top spin. It looks impressive. I don't like them, so I didn't go on it. It's one of those things where you all sit in a big row and it's on two massive arms. It brings you up, flips you around a few times, and you get very, very sick. It used to be called Ripsaw. Right. It's in the same place as Ripsaw was, which was the same. Yeah, it just different. It's new, a newer generation. It's raised. They are saying it's a world's first because it's the world's first raised one. That's just fucking stupid, once again. But yeah, that's the newest ride that they've got at the moment. With it being a flat ride, they don't class it as a secret weapon. It was just something that they brought in because they need more flat rides.
Okay. I suppose,
so there you go, yeah.
One other thing I should ask, because I don't think we got it at the top of it. When was your first trip to Alton Towers? And it's like, how many times have you been, and what is it that keeps you coming back as recently as last week?
Yes, why are you like this?
I can't remember the first time I went. I was quite young. I went when the corkscrew was still there. So it was in the 90s. I was able to go on the corkscrew, which was a Vekoma corkscrew roller coaster, and it used to beat you up. It was horrible. That was probably my first big roller coaster that I went on. Didn't really like it that much. Nemesis was there, so it was definitely post 1994, obviously because I was born in 1991, so I wasn't riding a corkscrew when I was 3. That would have been really irresponsible from my mum and dad. I didn't go on Nemesis. I was terrified. I used to be really scared of roller coasters, actually. They were a huge fear of mine. And when I broke the fear, I started becoming somewhat obsessed with them. A bit like Batman with bats.
Yeah. Coaster man,
why
don't you dare put a drink down unattended in his house.
No way, don't do that.
Master Wayne. Coasters frighten me, Alfred. It's time my enemies learned a taste of my true dread.
You merely adopted the smiler. I was born with it. Why do I keep going back? No, I didn't. Why do I keep going back? I don't know. It's not my most local theme park, but when it comes to the thrills that it has there, it's very dense with roller coasters, and there's a huge variation of what there is. No two coasters there are the same, so you get a different experience on every single one. And once again, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. It is my happy place. It's not my favorite theme park in the world. My favorite theme park in the world is a place in Poland called Energylandia, which is fucking awesome. You should look that one up. That is incredible. What would I build at Alton Towers next is a question nobody asked me, but I have written down because that tickles my fancy. I would build what is called, and you will have to look this up, but it's by a company called Rocky Mountain Construction, RMC, and they normally build steel and wooden hybrid roller coasters out of old wooden roller coasters. So they refurb and they basically make them these insanely intense looping roller coasters. I've been on a good few. They're amazing. They also build them from the ground up. If they got one of them in Alton Towers as the first one in the UK, that would put them back on the map, definitely. Especially since they're going to be in big fucking trouble in the next few years. Does anyone know why they're going to be in big trouble in the next few years?
Is it the Universal one that's opening?
Yes.
Yeah, because even I have been like excited about that because well, you'll know more about it than me, but basically it's like Universal. It's got like Well, the reason I heard of it is because I think there's some Lord of the Rings stuff planned. That's where it come into my sphere. But there's other IPs there as well, right?
They're looking to
I hope
build
there is.
a
We've
giant
got no confirmation.
Universal Studios park around, I think, around Llewellyn Garden City, somewhere around that way.
It's like Bedford. They're going to be building the park at Bedford. We don't know the IPs that are there yet. We've heard rumours. The rumours being, I've heard that there may be Lord of the Rings. That would be great. Harry Potter is another one. There's already other Harry Potter worlds in other Universals, and Harry Potter, like the UK. Yeah, the UK is the home of Harry Potter, so it would make sense. Back to the Future, I think that one's guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna by looking at one of the roller coasters that they've built and like the art and stuff like that, people are thinking there's going to be a Back to the Future roller coaster. It's going to be a launch roller coaster that they're planning on launching at 88 miles an hour, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, it's going to be sweet. Shrek is one that I've heard, which will be fun. Nice Shrek swamp, and will go well with the Bedford wetlands.
I've heard Paddington was on the cards as well. That would be...
Yeah,
that
for a kids area, definitely. Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't know about kids area.
But even the kids rides that Universal build, like the dark rides and stuff like that, which for those who don't know, dark rides are the ones where they're all indoors, you're in a little traveling car, and there's lots of scenes going on around you, and it's very immersive. But even them, Universal do them spectacularly. They do not pull any punches. This is going to take a lot of the Merlin parks by surprise. Well, not even by surprise, they know it's coming, but it's going to take a lot of people away from there because, yes, Alton Towers Demon's great, but why would you go there when you could go to Universal Studios Bedford when they do like multi-billions worth of investment? It's going to be awesome.
And if they charge maybe, I don't know, £2 cheaper than Alton Towers, because the other thing about Merlin, their stuff isn't cheap.
No, it's not. It's not cheap. It was fucking like I don't eat meat, right? So I could only get the vegan burgers that are there. For a vegan burger with no chips, no drink, it was £14.
Jesus.
Oh,
yes, and if you wanted to get some, chips, it's like an extra £7, £8. Your drinks are about a fiver. It's ridiculous. We took a packed lunch. That's what we do. Fuck them. Like I don't pay that money. Universal, yes, it may also be expensive, but it'll be worth it.
That's absurd. That's €16 or $18.50, like nearly 20 quid across all currencies for a fucking burger by itself without any chips.
Yeah, not even a proper burger.
Yeah,
no,
not to diminish your diet and or beliefs, but
right, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, those are Disney prices.
Yeah, so people, it's starting to put into context all those. Whenever you Google or like you look on YouTube like Alton Towers, there's all the videos of like the decline of Alton Towers, and it kind of puts it into context a little bit more that it seems like they've not really been able to recover reputationally, and it does highlight the importance of reputational damage, I guess, to a firm, which is really interesting. Damn,
I think they could just do like 3 things right now to just kind of get their reputation back on track. First of all, don't have any incidents that lead to major amputations. 2, lower the ticket prices a little bit. 3, get rid of the world of David Williams. So, to make way for Nathan's dream next roller coaster. Because the question I didn't get the chance to ask was, well, where would you put it? What would you sacrifice in place for your new thing?
There is an area.
The choice is pretty obvious.
Yeah, and there is an area right next to
Nuke it from the orbit.
wonderful
It's
world.
the only way to be sure. Sorry, go on.
Just get rid of it. Just blow it up from the bottom and let it sink. No, yeah, there's an area around there that's called the Old Coaster Corner, which used to have other old roller coasters there, and that's the sited area for whatever Secret Weapon 9 is going to be. If they were building a massive RMC, which I would love, it would need a hell of a bigger footprint, especially if they don't have the height, which they're going to be able to have other RMCs have. So they would need to completely trash the wonderful world of pedophiles and just have one massive coaster there. That is what I would do.
There we go.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's been amazing. So we've covered not only the history of Alton Towers, which is always a lovely one on this podcast. We've covered some general questions about how these parks work. We've also saw a good layout of what the park is and all the rides that are involved. And it's a shame that we're such deplorable people we'd never be sponsored by Alton Towers. But I think this has given everyone a pretty solid overview of the park. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump the gun here a little bit, Nathan. Thank you for that, man. I thank you for
Good,
that knowledge.
good.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Good. So you don't curse me then. You don't curse me like Alton Towers. You thank me like David Williams.
I don't know why I paused so long there. I wasn't even thinking about anything. My brain just blue screened. No, I thank you for the knowledge. My only regret is that we didn't format this episode in a way. Maybe we'll do this in the future where we can look at the broader topics of roller coasters in general, and maybe look at like the mechanics, because they're mechanical objects, but like the mechanics of what goes into like roller coasters. Where did they come from? Like, why are they so popular? Like, what's some of the weird shit around them? Like, what is it psychologically that humans enjoy about them? And like the world of roller coasters, if you will. Like, if you like, almost like a layer down from the parks themselves, just like, yeah. So now that's just made me curious, more and more curious about roller coasters and theme parks in general. So it's just like with after we recorded the Casablanca episode, I went and watched Angels with Dirty Faces, and I went and watched M. So like I've got that new appreciation for something else in life.
Cool.
So
we will do a future episode on roller coasters in general, because I love them, and we'll also do a future episode on a guy called John Wardley, who basically designed every single roller coaster in Alton Towers, and his scope of as a roller coaster designer goes a very, very long way. His history of rides and entertainment in general is awe-inspiring. So we'll get into that as well.
Nice. Well, then this has been a nice little primer, I think. Is that fair to say? I think it's been a nice little bit of spit on the fingers.
I'll just thank Nathan. Rather than if I was, a happily married, balanced person with children and such, like, I would curse you for making the inevitable trip to Alton Towers even more inevitable and being a huge drain on my finances. But as a pathetic, miserable bachelor, thank you for updating me on what Alton Towers is like nowadays, because it's good for the knowledge bank. Even the fact that there's now the world of David Williams. that is something I can work into my stand-up material. So lovely
Yes, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are going to go. We are going to go to Alton Towers as a trio at some point. We have to. We'll be doing some vlogs from there, maybe directly do a podcast right in smack bang in the center of the wonderful world of David Williams.
With our packed lunches.
Yes, yeah,
Yes,
definitely not.
please,
Yeah,
God, yes.
Yeah, we don't get expenses on this show, fellas. I'll tell you that right now. You don't get expenses for your food. But speaking of which, we are going to be going to Chillingham Castle in a few weeks, aren't we, lads?
Yeah.
Yes, looking forward to it.
And I think we're going to do some vlogs from there, so there might be a bit of video content, which could be interesting. We'll see how that goes. But there'll also definitely be a podcast episode about some of the more famous stories of Chillingham Castle, and most likely the history of it as well. Depending on the slant, though, I don't know. It might be an Ian episode, it might be a Chris episode, it might be an Nathan episode. We don't even know that yet. It's going to be very interesting, that trip. But I've already cleared it with my wife. It's the day after she gets back off holiday, so naturally she's fucking fuming with me. But it's happening. Yay!
Very good.
We've got that to look forward to.
Yeah, what's the next episode going to be? Do we know?
Yes, we do. The next episode that you will hear after this one is the history of role-playing games, and it does not start with Dungeons and Dragons. It, in fact, starts around the 1200s, and then it goes to the 13th, 14th, 15th century. Then it becomes a little bit militaristic when we jump to the 19th century in Prussia, before we get to Gary Gygax and Dungeons and Dragons as the game we know it today. So I thought that might be a very interesting dive. I'm starting to feel like a bit of a fraud, though, because a lot of my episodes seem to revolve around history, but in a different way to Ian's. So I feel like a bit of a shitter. I feel like a bit of a twat.
But this was very history heavy too. We just live in a history heavy country.
Yeah, that's
right.
true. Yeah.
Take that, America.
Yeah, fuck you guys. You're a shit stain on our history.
Yeah. Don't listen to them. They're full of shit. I love you. Your leaders are crazy. Really crazy. But most of you are pretty nice people, generally.
No, yeah, I'm just joshing you.
You just don't know how to spell properly, which it's not your fault.
And you don't have enough history. You know, we've got 2,000 years plus. What have you got? 250? Pathetic.
We have pubs older than you.
Well, yes, but the Americans have the Hunger Games, which are apparently starting this year, which is unbelievably not satire. So
nice.
Yeah, that was announced last year that it's something like 2 athletes from every state will compete in games together, which is literally just
say that. Yeah,
it's just literally the fucking premise of the Hunger Games. It wasn't someone. It was Trump. I know he listens to this. Donald, you're a twat. It was Trump who said that. So, but it's not even political anymore. It's just more like what weird shit that we're going to see on the news this morning. Oh god. But yeah, that is an aside that really goes nowhere. So the next episode will be one of mine, that you'll hear after this, which will be the history of role-playing games. Sorry, not how you and your partner got the spice back. However, that is pretty much the function of role-playing games throughout history, have been to break down societal norms, which is really interesting because we'll get into it, but you do see that there's even as far back as the 1200s when the French were playing it, and then masquerade balls and stuff, all the way through to D&D, how it's played now. There's this same DNA that you can see of people just I'm going to take a break from my real life and play this mythical persona. So yeah, we're going to get into that next episode, and then in a few weeks we will be at Chillingham Castle, where we'll produce some kind of bonus type content. I think Nathan said you're quite good at editing vlogs, right? Because you do them as a family.
Sure.
Yeah, so we'll have some video content, so you'll be able to see us just around, and then expect a podcast episode about Chillingham Castle as well. And then from that, the world's our oyster. However, that being said, I think this has been a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed it. Your episodes, Nathan, for some reason, they always make me feel more relaxed. Yours are relaxing episodes where I'm like, maybe it's because I can just kind of be like, right, just let it wash over me. That whatever mad shit you're going to teach me about is just going to soak my soul. So thank you. Yeah, it's been
it's
nice,
not very
relaxing episode
highbrow.
and well, no, that's you don't always need it. It's interesting, it's engaging.
So that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, exactly. We got here for the culture. We're just the pigs wallowing in the mud, you know.
Oink oink.
A rose
We're
between
like a piggy.
two thorns.
Exactly. So, with that, I think we're going to draw it to a close here. So it's a goodbye from me, Chris.
From me, Ian.
And from my legs, Ian.
Bye.
Goodbye.